Hey y'all, I'm going live again. I'm actually creating some assets for a webcomic that a motion comic that I'm working on. It's gonna be a medley of brothers shorts that I'm gonna put together. I took a picture that Henry Wilson had done of the brother, where half of it was the brother's face and the other half looked like a reverse brother, and it turned out it kind of is the reverse brother. He's called the other, and I manipulated those pictures to create a full face of the brother and a full face of the other, and then I had them have a conversation. So that's one of the medleys. That's part of the medley. I think I'm gonna call it a slice of life because of the spear cutting, slicing. The first one is about a minute. There's another picture that I'm going to be working on here with it's the brother and Imani having a conversation about time travel and how easy it is to do, and the brother basically gives her a little bit of an education of how complex it is. But the way the scene is set up right now, it's just the back of the brother and the back of Imani through the whole thing. So what I'm doing is I'm taking pictures from the original work that one of the original stuff that I've done before, The Brother 2, the motion comic I did for the Trial of Omodara, and I'm taking the art from that new picture and the art from the Trial of Omodara and merging them together to create new assets for that motion comic. Because what I want to do is when the brother and Imani are having conversations, I don't want the whole conversation taken from the back of their heads. I want you to see the front of their heads. And Imani's hair was completely different in that version, so that's why I have to create a new amalgam using Henry's work, some of his work from Trial of Omodara and the work that he did for this little picture also. So that's how I'm going to be merging them together. Where is it? When you ask to share, the problem I figured out when I have trouble sharing, it's because I'm looking at the post as my page, which is Chart Comics, and what I really want to look at the post is I want to look at it as myself. So that's the issue. Like when you can't share it, the reason is you're interacting with it as the wrong thing. I gotta figure out how to change the interaction again. I want to discard that, because once I figured that out, that's what made it easier to do. I'm just trying to remember how I changed the interaction from one to the other. Okay, so now I'm sharing as myself. The reason I know that it's not, because when I try to share as the page, I have almost no websites that I can actually pick from or groups that I can pick from, and that's when I know like it's kind of off. So I'm just gonna do my 5 shares that I normally do. Let's see if these go through. Yeah, so I'm doing the 5 shares I normally do. I was looking for Warhorse, and that's the last one. Yeah, so what I do is I have both things posted, both things ready to go. So what I'm going to do is have it running. So the first asset that I created right now is Imani, and I'm literally just taking them from the brothers' original issue 2 and reworking them right now. So let's see, what do I need now? What I'm also trying to do is get the colors to work out. I believe the outlines of the characters are also a brown versus actual black. So that's kind of the reason why I'm reworking that. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be adding in 2 photos that I just took, because I can't find the original stuff that I had. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to create another face, another one of Imani's faces. I'm generating them from movie files that I had created, as unlike the other ones I actually did it from a picture. So all I really need from her is just her general face. The reason I'm doing two of them is I want to do one for when I want to switch to it because they both have a pretty good amount of lines in the story. So I just want to be able to switch between one or two faces, at least for Imani, because I wanted to give her different reactions on stuff too. So I'm gonna cut and paste that. Alright, I don't need this anymore. Delete. I got what I wanted from it. So what's kind of easy about this is, and the reason, like if I say art by Henry Wilson, this is more of a retouch than actual redrawing, because I'm not really drawing anything over. I'm just retouching it to use it to make it look like something that was actually created for that image. So that's really all I'm just doing with it. So it's still Henry's art. It's just me putting my own touches on it, combining two of his pieces to make a new piece of art that I'm going to use in the motion comic. So the trick that I got to do too is get rid of the tears, and I might have to modify the eye a little bit also because I don't want it to look so worried. And most of the black is probably going to become a light brown. It's not necessary, but I still might do it just because, to keep the art looking a little bit more consistent. And this is not too bad of a look, even though it looks like a slight bit of a worried look. So what I can always do, if I don't like the eyebrows, to speed up this process instead of doing what I'm doing right now. So let's see if I took the eyebrows. I hate uniform. I don't know why it's always uniform first. And we'll just do this with we'll get them out of that worried eye look and get them into this looking something more like this instead. And then what we're going to do is just touch up the parts. I gotta move this frame out. Move the eye down a little. Move this eye down a little also. What we're gonna do, purposely, I'm going to bring it across the top a little bit more, just to make it less wide-eyed. So she's not in that sad mode or surprise mode or looking a little bit different than that. So that's kind of what I want with that. Then what we just do, we use the actual color that's already there, and then we go over it. Same thing. Take me some time. Add, and just hit fill. So this is actually from a video, so that's why I'm actually doing it this way. I'm gonna cut a little bit of it off too here, just to make it more like an eyebrow instead of it. So I want to change it to more inquisitive than sad. So that's what I'm actually trying to do with the piece right now. The big difference between the two pieces is also the hair. So that's one of the reasons why I just take her face and I'm not taking her whole head. her hair's extremely different in this little short animation that I'm going to be doing. This is going to be filled in. So what I'm wondering is, I wonder which one was done first. I'm thinking the brother 2 might have been the later of the two pieces. But the interesting thing about Imani and the brother is they're time travelers, and you're always looking at them at different points of the characters' lives. You're never looking at them in a point of their life that's like, oh yeah, that's when they first met, or is this after they first met? You're not 100% sure what time periods they are when you're looking at them. So I could just cheat, and like I said, I want to move this layer out. I'm going to form its own new group. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to bring in, I'm going to try to use this hair too. I'm going to duplicate it. So here's my dupe. I'm going to put it behind this one. And what we're going to do is going to move it down over. What we did is, because I already have a pre-designed one too, I can take the group, move it up a little bit, and I can see what I kind of did with the hair too, so I can have an idea of what I want to pull off with her. Alright, so do we bring you forward or leave you behind? Let me see if I bring you forward, what I get. Woo, too much. But let me minimize this a little bit. Instead of doing this from scratch, I'll take this layer right here. Since this is going to be behind her anyway, what we're going to do is take this piece. Since this is behind her head anyway, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to try to move it above. The only reason I did that is not because it's going to stay where it's at. It's actually going to come over. Freaking uniform. So what isn't in this picture, what I'm going to be generating is earrings and an ear. Based on the art that I can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one also as a guideline of what I'm going to do with the rest of the hair. Not that one. This, not that one. This one, yes. Over here. I'm just going to say in this close-up piece, the hair comes a little bit more over her face. That's pretty much it. It's slightly different angles, so it's giving you a different kind of look for her hair. Hair's a little bit bigger in this shot. We're going to finish off the face and bring you back in. So we need to get the ear. We can cheat instead of drawing any of it from scratch. I'll take this piece right here. Copy and paste. So we got another copy of the ear. I'm going to drag it over here. We're going to move this up over here. And we're going to manipulate the size. So we're going to regenerate her face using multiple pieces of art. So there you go. That gives me that. Based on this angle, I can see her earring, but because of the way her head is, I could still probably make the, I can make the loop appear too. So we do that. I can always take this and uniform. God dang it, stop being uniform. I can just push this up a little, and I'll make that kind of match up with the hair that's over there. And what we can do is the same thing. Come on, man. Seriously. Yes. Sure. Okay. I'll be right back after these messages. If she can have her door closed and she can hear you, you're too loud. Leave your voices really low. Because if you cannot, it's a heat over your device, then you see. Be quiet. Thanks. And I'm back. I wonder why there's that big shadow over there. Anyway, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna paint in most of her face. We're gonna make it look more like this one too. Instead of having that two-tone area that I'm not kind of getting why it's happening in that picture. I'm not gonna look to find out, so I'm just gonna add in the color, and we'll just fix the color. We'll do color correction. So what's kind of silly is it's because I want to do, like I said, in the motion comic is set to only one scene. I could just have them never face you and you never see their faces, but I just don't think it makes that much sense. So I'm going to use one of the old tricks that I do where you have the faces slide in from the side and say some of the stuff that way. So some of it's going to be to the back with the brother's back to you. Some of it's going to be in this fashion also, just so it has a bit of a variety and you're not just having just the back of the characters while they're speaking. I could do two faces for the brother too, but I prefer doing more faces for Imani. Imani's more my favorite. Yeah. Sorry, brother. So that's just it. Like it's such an interesting character. She's like, the way I always name her the protege. So, and if you read issue 2 of The Brother, you'll get to see a very interesting, like, time traveling characters are always really interesting to me because of the way they interact with each other, and because of the time traveling that they're doing, you don't know, is this the reason why the brother met her? Are they always destined to meet? So it's a very interesting thing. Like, did he find her or did she find him? So it's literally like a chicken and the egg situation when you're dealing with characters like that. You're not 100% sure which happened first, but you just know that certain things need to happen for the characters to both coincide and exist, for the characters to meet. So it's a really neat concept. I kind of like that Jay, Henry, and the folks that they were working with, like that Jay came up with, because Jay is kind of the architect of it. He definitely listens. He asks for input, and he'll work with other creators to improve the lore or add to what's going on with the characters. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, he's the brother, Imani. These characters are some of my favorite indie characters. Like Hit Disc and Willpower are like up on my top of like just indie characters that I picked up and I was looking at them just like, wow, I really dig these characters. Like Michelin has Space Vinci. I love those characters too. Like that would be such a cool little show to do, because it's a little bit sci-fi and it's like Futurama meets what would be the other one? It's Futurama mixed in with something else, but it's like it's original too, because it's definitely like a Caribbean island type thing. She's also done like these really interesting futuristic stuff where you have like giant robots just like sitting in the middle of the island, and you have little kids playing inside of them, like stuff like that. It's just like, it's really neat to me. I love the way she has she mixes sci-fi with Caribbean culture. And it's not exactly the way Matt Groening did it, where it was more like a joke of like more of a joke, like a black character being black and having kids or whatever. Like it's really cool. It's definitely a nice sci-fi twist that you really don't get to see much in mainstream stuff. And that's kind of like what to me is like so cool about indie creators. And the reason like I do a lot of black indie creators too, it's because as indie creators, your stuff doesn't get seen a lot anyway. As black indie creators, it's even seen even less. So there's a lot of stuff I'm following. They are from black creators. I have some stuff that I like that's also not from black creators also, but it's not like it's I'm definitely trying to support black creatives. The reason is I would like to see more positive imagery, more different imagery of black characters, because like right now I think we're in a situation where if you look at most black characters or most black shows or stuff like that, there's like a few assigned professions that like black characters get to have right now, which is I think is a little weird. But I mean assigned professions, you'll see cops. Black characters can be cops. I've seen judges. Like there are a lot of them on law enforcement. And I've seen and sometimes you'll see them as doctors in some shows. But like I mean, I'd love to see a variety. Detectives, chemists, a futurist. Like that's why like the character Henry Crunk that was created in Flash this season was kind of interesting. I wanted to see a little bit more of him, but like he disappeared after the Grodd and Me episode. Like he was like the catalyst to get the Grodd and Me episode to work for the show. Like he did something that screwed up with Flash. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm seeing with it. Like but it's kind of cool to be able to see different characters that do different things. But like Space Vinci is like one of my favorite things that Michelin Hess has done. The Diary of a Mad Werewolf is also very cool too. Like I might actually feature that cover too. It's a book I want to get, but I read most of it when she was posting it during Black History Month, or whenever she was doing the posting. I actually read most of it, so it's definitely something I could say it's an indie thing I'm into. So it wouldn't be too hard to say that. It would be out of left field to say that. It's the same way with Space Vinci. I love the character, I love the story, but she's doing them as like these 3D panoramic images. So the reality of it is, it's not even like a series, but there's like 5 to 6 of them, and they're kind of cool. I even did a little story that captured. Michelin said like, yeah, it captured the essence of the characters, like how they would be with each other. So, just based on the stuff I was reading, that's some of the stuff I try to do too, based on when I read characters and I see how they interact. I write my dialogue or my idea for a story in those kind of voices that I see. So it's like I said, it's a very cool concept. If Space Vinci had a comic book cover or had a cover of some sort, yeah, I definitely would have put that in there. What layer is this on? I gotta do it up here because I don't know what's going on there. It's really weird. So the thing about layers too allows you, even when you have mistakes, just to go to the uppermost layer. The uppermost layer will take care of your problem. What I'm trying to do is sharpen her face, because her face looks a little young from one picture to the next because her eyes are so big. So another thing I can do is I can make the eyes smaller, and that should take care of some of the problems with that too. And it's looking at, I'm gonna start merging these layers because it's starting to get annoying to me, because I have to work out 4 layers to get one thing done. So we're gonna remove some roundness from her face by just sharpening it up a little bit. So this should age her up as a teenager versus like a little kid, by just adding that sharpness to her chin, adding sharpness to her cheeks. And just doing that, it starts aging her face up a little bit more. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Get rid of some of that. Get rid of some of that roundness from under her neck too. Like, that's one of my problems. It's like, I could have just said, hey, I'm gonna do the motion comic, boom, just do it the way it is. But like, I can't help myself. Like, I'll start doing something, I'm just like, yeah, I need to do a face. I need to do one of her faces. I need to do a face for the brother. So I need to do certain things. So what I'm doing here is I'm making her eyes a little smaller. By doing this, it also ages her up. The reason small eyes, or wide eyes, are kind of signifying youth. Just look at babies. Babies look like they have huge eyes. Their heads are huge. Their heads are very round. So to age her up, I just have to make the eyes smaller, make the face more defined, less roundness, and that should basically take care of those issues for me. And I can also just take her eyes, and it makes it look more like the other picture too. Push everything down a little bit, and there you go. So a little bit older, and then I can work with the earrings. Because the thing is, she's definitely older than, she's probably 15, 16 at the least. You can't say she's like a 12-year-old or an 11-year-old. There's no way she's that. There's no way I would see a really young girl wearing giant hoops like that either. Hoop earrings like that either. So that's what I'm thinking. She's definitely more in the 15, 16 range than 13, 14 range. So I definitely think she's a little bit older. Let's see, where is it? I'm going to add a little bit of a loop down here too. I'm not gonna go crazy with it. It's just because I just do think that as big as these earrings are, they're always going to be seen, even if her face is more to the side. Cut this out. We're almost done with this. Then the reason I need them here is because I'm going to take them and push these out as PNGs that I'm going to use in Video Leap. And the whole idea of this is I have to rethink a lot of what I'm doing, because I can do the voiceovers directly into Video Leap, so I don't have to use Audacity, save all of the voiceovers separately, and then bring them back in. So what I can do is I can do all my voiceovers. Now the thing is, I usually use Audacity to control the pitch and the tempo of the character. So for me to not make her sound like a squeaking mouse that's talking really fast, what I'm going to have to do is speak slower when I'm doing my voice recording, and then speed it up, because oh wait a minute, yeah, I can't. They did something really kind of kooky in this, is they let me change the speed, but they don't let me control the tempo. Wait, is that right? No, they don't let me control the pitch. What you would think is it would let you control the pitch and the speed, but they don't let you do that, which is really weird to me. I haven't figured out why they wouldn't let you do that, but they don't. I would love to be able to control the pitch independently of the speed. So right now, all I have is, if I want to do a pitch change, I have to change the pitch, the speed of how I'm actually speaking. So far, it's worked out pretty well for the brother, because the brother is, I already do a deep voice when I'm trying to speak like him, and then I slow it, then I increase the pitch by like -10%. So that's where it gives he has a much more deeper baritone than my voice. My narrator voice has even deeper pitch change to it, like twice as much as the brothers. So for me to do my narrator, I'd have to talk extremely slow and do my voice with my narrator, and then I'd have to talk extremely fast. I'd have to speak quickly, and then as I slow it down, it'll start to sound normal. It's kind of annoying, but right now that's the only way I know how to do it, without having to use a computer at all. And what I'm trying to do is build, this is going to be one of those very few animations that I'm trying to do all on the iPad. Everything is being created on the iPad. Video Leap is really powerful. I already did the brother versus the other piece already, and that one came out fantastic. The funny thing is, there's actually less sound effects in that than I usually have, but because of the way the music works and the way the motion happens on the way the motion works in this, it's amazing. Like, it sounds very good. You don't miss the extra sound effects that I sometimes will throw in. So I thought that was actually pretty neat. So I don't have to work as hard. But yeah, if I can find sound effects for like sound for a specific thing, yeah, I'm gonna try to add it too, just to make it sound really cool. But it's right now I'm in the $7.99 version of it. What I want to do is eventually just buy it outright for $70, because the editing capabilities of that program is so far superior than iMovie. That's the reason I like it so much more. Like, I mean, I love iMovie and all, but this is easier to use than iMovie. and I can do a lot with it. So that's what's got me excited about using this program, and that's why I'm actually doing this experiment with it. I've done one movie on it already, and I love it because I get to do effects with text. I'm able to make the text move. All the fade in and fade out that I normally do, I can do that here. I can add shaking and stuff like that, and they have a lot of really cool fonts to use. Even though I'm doing all my balloons in another program, I can do a lot of really cool font stuff. And yeah, there you go. So now there's my two Imanis. So this Imani 1 and my two Imani. So that's Imani 1, and then what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go to this group here, and that's Imani 2. So the reality is we just match up the hair as best we can. And this is mirroring. So now I have my two Imanis. So now the way you're seeing I'm setting it up here too is kind of funny. The reason I'm setting it up like this is what makes Video Leap so cool. It's masking feature. The way it can mask an image, and then you still can resize it and stuff. Oh my God, it's the best. That's why I'm able to do all my lettering in one set. I put all my balloons down the way I want, and I can just freaking mask them out, and it's super fast. Like I did my lettering for that thing like so quick. It was a joke. I loved it. That's why I'm like, yo, I don't usually buy iPad programs, or I'm just like, yeah, I'm not spending no $70 on something. This is actually freaking worth it. I'm really impressed. The music selection too that you have is freaking tastic. So that's another thing that I love about it. I might want to throw a layer down below each one of them. So what I'm going to do is go darker. And on purpose, we're going to try to... I'm going to put this layer below and just fill it in the way I want to. This should take care of my phone. Am I doing that? Oh, it's coming out as white anyway. Well, there you go. That's kind of stupid. So that won't even work. I'd have to do a multiply. I'll just skip it. Clear. Delete this. I don't need it. So I'm just going to delete that layer. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to here. This is the one on top. Just clean these up. But I can just do like, this is what I wanted to do. Go real dark with it, so you can actually see the separation between them. That's all. Instead of doing it with white, I want to do it with a color. I have no idea what this is. And let's dig up. Yeah, so we're pretty much done with her. And I got to do the same thing that I did here before. So I'm going to select this reddish color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the outlines, like her eyebrows. Because that other picture, everything is kind of reddish. And here we fix this one too. And we do her ears also. So what I literally could do, I could then bring this into Warble and do stuff with it, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna leave it alone. But yeah, so these are my two Imanis created from Imanis from the other brother stuff that I had. So these are my two Imani heads, and I'm going to keep those two Imani heads. Why is it son of a monkey dog? Alright, easy enough. I will cut that. These. Boop. Speaking of which, let's see if I take out this. Alright. Well, what just happened? Undo, 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 undo. I always forget if you merge without that's not the one that needed to be merged. This is the one that needs to be merged. There you go. So the key is now we take off the background, and then I have my two Imani heads set up ready for my movie. I need another layer. So these are going to go out as Imanis, but I need another layer. Take that out. What I'm going to insert now is a brother. I'm going to insert a brother photo. That's not the one. You're joking. Oh, I was like, why I took the same picture twice? That was going to be frustrating. Oh, this is the one I want. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to start cutting around. This one's going to be easy. You take that, push down. It looks like, oh my God, how are we going to get this done? But it's going to be pretty easy. Most of it, it's just going to be done like this. Then all we're going to do is take everything else but the brother. And the trick I could do is I could actually take this one image and use it twice, manipulate the eyes and the mouth to kind of make him look like he's having a little bit of emotion or a change. So I could have two brothers also, but they're both going to be side view versions. Or I could actually take pieces from another image that I was thinking about using too. I just like said, nah, I wasn't, but I could do it that way too. I could have like three, it's just, and we just clear that out, clear. Then what we can do is we go to here, say fit screen. So that fits screen now. And then what I can just do is flip horizontally, which is what I really wanted to do. Push over. Uniform is so stupid. So this is it uniformed. That's why I told you I can't stand uniform. I think it's just the dumbest thing in the world. So now we have the brother done. Again, same thing like with the image before. We're going to insert a picture. I want to just get the same color. I want to get the same color feel for the characters. I'm not going with the gray. I guess that's just never going to happen. But I want his black is going to be shift over to red to match the color scheme that's inside that image. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this into a reference layer. We're going to create a layer on top just so it's not destructive. So you can see everywhere this black, it's being transformed into this reddish color. So what I'm going to do is, this is a little red to me. It's a little too red to me. So what I'm going to do, multiply won't work. I'm going to see if I can darken it a little bit. Yeah, none of the dark. Hard light, hard light, hard light, hard light, hard light. Oh man, none of these will work. Which one's this? The screen. That ain't gonna work. The screen's interesting though. Additive. Overlay. Ain't going to spit doodles. This is neat though. So what I can just do is reduce its opacity a little bit. Because I want that darkness. I still want it to be closer to black than that. But yeah. So now I have my brother one. And there you go. So we'll take, I'll merge it because it's perfect for me right now. So now this is the brother version. And now I have my Imanis. And I'm going to just export those out. So now I have them for when I'm having him ask her the questions and they're talking. So it kind of looks like he's looking straight ahead and then he turns his head sideways and then he speaks and then the lines are said. So now I have my two images that I can put my stuff, my text bubbles coming out from. So yippee skippy. So first what we're going to do is we're going to share. We're going to a PNG because we don't want any white background. Save the image. That's one. And then we do the same thing with the two Imanis. And since they're about the same size currently, it won't be too much of a problem when I manipulate them. So it's kind of neat. Ooh, errors in the two Imanis. Let's see. Good thing we went up close. Like if there's something going on in the background, it would stick out through the eyes if I didn't catch this. So it's important that you take a look before you export them out. The brother came out really good. It was super easy. I didn't have to do much with that. But that's why I told you, like in the greater scheme of things, this is still Henry's artwork. It's just me using his artwork to generate. Both of them were drawn by him, so I'm just using his artwork to generate new assets. I'm not really drawing much. I'm really retouching. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Yeah, so I just change the eyes a little bit, make them look a little bit less worried, so on and so forth. Just make her ask questions. I can make it say that. And then both of these faces have, like, there's a place where I want her to go like yuck. And then I want her to just sit, like the first one too, she'd be like, time traveling is easy. And then when he'll say stuff, he's like, seriously? Like you can have these faces be changing between her lines of the stuff that she's saying. So that's the reason why I came up with that. So that PNG is done. And we hit save. Alright, so now I got my two images. I can do some housekeeping anyway because this stuff starts taking up space, bro. So I need these two, but I really don't need, let me select, I don't need that one, I don't need this one, I don't need that one. I took all the lines, I even added in some lines, so I really don't need that anymore, but I might just keep it just for if I'm doing pacing and I want to make sure everything is going correctly. So now I got to take that one over here, that comic, and translate it into Word, so I'll be able to bubble those up too. I'm going to hit those into trash. I'm going to go into my albums. I'm going to go to my trash one. And I have a lot of recently deleted stuff, so I'm going to select everything and I'm going to delete all. 61 items, and there's a lot of pictures and videos in there. Those actually eat up a lot of space in the iPad. But before I continue there, I'm going to show you some cool stuff that I've also been doing on char.com. Well, what I do is I'm hosting with Dashnix. It's an ad that I've been seeing sitting around all the time on Facebook and Instagram, and they usually charge like $500 a year, and they're giving you $17 for lifetime. So what they mean by that is it allows you to host your whole website for $17 forever. To me, that is such a good deal. I was just like, there's no way I'm not gonna do this. And then it lets you go to all the different pages and everything that you have set up. Like the character Soul Reaper is created for the brother. Articles? Can we go there? Yeah, so this is my articles page. A lot of the backgrounds you see, so this is the articles page, and what I just did is, these are some of the old stuff that I wrote in my old, website, and I'm trying to move some of the articles over. I'm hoping I can find my World Power review for issues 1 through 5 again. I would rather use that than what I have. And then graphic design, it shows you the different parts, list the services and the things that I do besides just doing comic book art. As you can see, like featured work, Captain Jamaica, which I'm working on, Rush Parallels, which I just finished, Tack, which I have to get back to, Soul Reaper. This is a character that I designed based on the Trial of Omodara. This is the same way when based on a character from Captain Jamaica, I created a character called Embrace. So like, yeah, when I'm inking, lettering, or doing something for a comic book, I'm running, story ideas keep popping in my head. Like, it was interesting, I was looking at somebody who was saying like they're having a lot of trouble like figuring out how to write something next. And because I guess I do so many facets of comic book design that it's consistently in my head. Like I did character backgrounds and stories by looking at pictures for Nigel Flood's Globalist. So like his Resistance characters, he needed a background story for them. I just wrote them by looking at their pictures. So what's kind of cool is right now these are all the books that I'm selling in my digital comic shop. So my comic shop is Char Store e-comic shop. E-com shop. So what I do is I sell services for creating comic books, and I also actually sell digital versions of comic books that I've worked on, or I have permission from the creator to put on here. So this is the remastered version that the Trial of Omodara is based on. There are some differences in here script wise, and there's also maybe one or two scenes that I didn't show in Trial of Omodara, or a few panels I didn't show because I was like dying. It took me 5 days to put all of the movie together, and I just wanted to get done, and I was just like, this one scene I'm gonna do with all these panels is gonna add like another like 2 minutes, and I'm just like, or a minute or 30 seconds, and I'm just like, it's gonna take me about like an hour to 2 hours to do it. I was like, I'm not doing it. So first you see is the brother, then Real Comic Showcase number 3, I Hero number 5. I have 4 pages in there. Micha, I did Micha chapter 1. That's a motion comic. Because I made the motion comic, I had to letter to make the motion comic, so the lettering for the book was done simultaneously. So I was able to generate a book from that. Real Comic Showcase number 1. That was drawn by Jason Tribune. And basically what happened is, because I was doing book 2, I wanted to make sure that the lettering looked similar, and I wanted to fix some of the art. Like I wanted to get it, I retouched it, because I saw some mistakes too when I was reading the lettering. There was like some of the words were missing, periods were missing, so I was like, I might as well re-letter it. But because I didn't have the original art, I actually had to re-letter it from the art that was there, so I had to remove all of the balloons and then re-letter on top of that. So that took a bit. So that's Real Comic Showcase number 1. I created the name, the title block for it, and the real R that's up here. But like I came up with the name because originally this was just a 2-part or 2 or 3-part story, and I'm just like, yo, it would be kind of cooler if it's like part of Real Comic, of Real Entertainment. So I came up with this Real Comic Showcase. And Anthony has a bunch of these little one-off stories for characters. I'm like, so why just make new books for each character? Why not just create an anthology type book and just throw all your stories in there? So this is the one I did, Real Comic Showcase number 2, the full version of it. This is Real Comic Showcase number 3. It's the conclusion of the Emerald Stone saga that started in number 1. This is my first comic that I did completely from scratch. 2014. It's alright. This one is Rush Parallels. I finished it in 2018, but I started this one in 2015, 2016. Even had some work from 2014 that I went over, tightened it up. And what's kind of cool, I got permission from Vince White to actually put his Powerverse Legend of Willpower books on here too. So now I have all of the Legend of Willpower stuff, all of the 101 and Powers That Be stuff in there. And the reason I did that, there's other books that came out under the Powerverse, but I don't want to have issues with people saying, well, you don't have my permission. So I'm just like, I just stick with Vince's stuff. So Willpower number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the action pack. Then I also have the 101, the Powerverse source book, and Powers That Be number 1. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 titles that I added to the 8 that I had before. So like we're up to like 16. Let me see if I'm right. It is 2 on the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 12. 12 plus 4. Yeah, I was right. 16 titles. So I just doubled the amount of books that I have there. Powers That Be is $2.99, where everything else is $1.99. So I figured out what my cutoff for my $1.99 price is. A 32-page book is $1.99. Once you pass 30, once you're under 33rd page, 34th page, I just bump it up by $1, because that's a lot of work and a lot of comics. So that's the only reason. Like, I almost had the Brother 2 at $2.99. I thought, you know what, it's still 32 pages. I left it there. But when I looked at Powers That Be, which is at 36 pages, I was like, yeah, that can be $2.99. So that's how I'm going to be basing when I go over on books, like when the price starts to climb a little. Like if a book is like 60, 80 something pages, yeah, I'm charging you $4.95 for that. It's crazy. Like, it's because it's the amount of work and the amount of time that it takes to create these books is really what I'm thinking about. Stuff I'm thinking of doing, if Video Leap works out the way I'm hoping, I might actually start taking some of the original movies that I did that are multiple parts. I'm going to compile them into full movies and sell them here too. You can watch them instead of watching them in bits and pieces and having to watch previously on segments on each of those chapters. You'd watch it in one full animation that you'll be able to also buy here. So those are kind of the things I'm thinking of selling in the store. It's all digital products. Can you get my books? Can you get Rush Parallels and Blue Jay and the Rush number 1 as a physical copy? Yes, you can get them in Indie Planet in that format. But what I realized is when I'm finished with the books and I'm done completely with them, if you want to get the digital copies, you can actually pick them up from me. So that's kind of like my plan for that. And as long as I get the blessing from the creators, my plan is to, books that I work on, I'll put them in here. And it gives you another avenue where you can actually come and see the books. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't want to show the script of the Brother comic, the other Brother piece I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to go do that offline. But I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I was working on. And once I'm done with that, hopefully I'll get back to what do you call it? Some inking I might be doing later tonight. But yeah, so if you're wondering, so this is the brother. This is the other. I really should fix these too. So here's the original drawing. If I do this right, how did I pull it off? Get this one out of the way. So this is the original drawing. And what I did with the original drawing is I cut the brother in half. I cut the other in half, and then I just did this. It creates the brother, and then I just did that. It creates the other. So it's just a mirrored version of the picture. and it worked out really well. And based on that, I came up with lines like they would be saying to each other. Came up with a really silly line in the beginning, but I thought I could come up with a much cleaner line. I didn't know his name was The Other. I originally called him No Bother, and then basically learning more about who the character is and what he's about. That's why I kind of modified my line for it. But yeah, it's a fantastic work. This is Henry's art, but you're just seeing what I can do with art. That's fantastic already. All I'm just doing is doing retouches and modifications on them. So yeah, let me just see. There's something I did want to fix in here. I actually want to fix it in all of them. Anytime the brother has a part, there's a glowing, there's an artifact that's sitting here that I want to remove. Clear. Let me see if it's gone. It's gone now. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to clear it. Clear. That's just me being dumb. I could literally get rid of it completely by just merging them down. I mean, it's super easy to do. This wasn't a complex piece at all to generate. Clear. Wrong layer. Select again. Just hit clear. Yeah, so that was something that was bothering me. There was this stupid artifact that was sitting there that whole time. Yeah, super simple animation. So I think my son didn't realize that they were two different characters. At first he was like, oh, it's about the same thing. I guess he must have thought he was doing a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde transformation. But nah, it's just two characters talking to each other. And it's called the Warble Stack because this is where I break down a lot of my Warble pieces that I'm going to work on. Like if you ever seen Dr. Satchel Hammersmith, he's an interesting one. So that's just Dr. Satchel. Every tentacle in his head has its own layer. That's why that comes out as well as it did. But yeah, so that's some of the work that I actually have to do. And then this is Leopard by Vince White, Prototype 1 by Vince White, and Cardinal by Vince White. Did a really good job with these. These I like a lot. Did a really, really good job. Like what I was telling Vince is like his style is so neat right now. He can do pretty much anything he wants, and his stuff looks really good. And this is funny. Like this Willpower is about 2 to 3 years old. I think he did this in 2017, 2018. So it's kind of funny, but he's on point right now. Like there's nothing he drew that when he did his the cards. Like I understood why he had other people help him out with it, but I was telling him like, yeah, I want him to draw my characters. And I knew there was some creators too that actually wanted him to draw their characters also. I was trying to tell him that, but he didn't really think like it was going to be that big of a deal. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a big deal, fella, because it makes sense. Like you can even see it based on what the people are saying. Like, yeah, they wanted you to draw it. Like this is going to be interesting. I have to fix that. Like I did a blue pencil on top of it, and I'm gonna do I have to do some inks, and then I have to do some color correction on it. The reason I do some of this stuff is, see, this is what the face looks like right here in that pencil man too, and it's off. So what I wanted to do was tighten up the image. So you see what I did? It ain't super fantastic, but it's a little bit more proper construction for that face. That's pretty much it. That's all I was trying to do. And fix the shoulders and fix whatever that might be off. But yeah. Because the thing is, the guys look a little bit horrifying to me. Like they look scary. Like they look really scary. Like this is scary looking. So, and that's not really what those characters are supposed to be. So that's why I'm trying to pare them down a little bit to make them a little bit less scary to the eye. And then yeah, I needed to draw bricks. So the reason I have to do all of these extra things that you see here is I'm taking off lettering. I'm removing them off the image. So if I just start taking off my blocks, you'll see there's lettering sitting here. So what I'm doing is I rebuild. Like whenever you have background like this, I actually will clone or copy a section of background and then keep pasting them around and then merge them together until I get what I want. So that was the fastest way to pull that off. Same thing to each of the faces. I go in and I tighten them a little bit up just to make them look a little bit more copacetic versus some of that. Like I fixed her hands. These are just the little things I'm doing touch-up wise. There's mistakes that I remember doing also a few years back. Like with this hand here. I wonder why. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna be lettering it a little different. Because one of the things that I started realizing too when you letter, you want to leave as much of the work as possible to be seen. Like if you look at her fingers are too long into the pad of the hand is missing because the fingers are just extending towards the wrist. So that's what they should look like. The fingers just stop right there. But yeah, those are some of the stuff that I would do. Some of the stuff I'm trying to fix or tighten up to make everything look a little bit more copacetic. Like if you look at this face, see how decent that face is? That face is actually really good. So it's really strange to go from that face that you see here to go to that face, which looks nothing like what was drawn up there, which is a little weird. And the reason I had to do that is I have to draw a few more pages of this. I have to draw about 7 pages. And for me to be able to draw those 7 pages, I can't copy that other style. So I had to create a pared down version of a style that I would be able to somewhat emulate without it being so different that I couldn't do anything with it. Sort of like in this page too. I'll show you same character again. See, great motion, great looking stuff. I don't think he has bad movement. I don't think he has bad design for the panels or the actions. But if I start taking off my modifications, so there's just too much going on. The mouth's too big. The lips look like he ate either bad shellfish or he's going into shock, like his lips are swelling. So that was some of the stuff I wanted to fix. The eye I wanted to fix here too. I fixed the mouth again, same thing with the weird swelling thing going on. And then these eyes, I understand the expression he's trying to do, but they're too expressive. They're too big. They're huge. And then see, the arm looks great, except in perspective, the shoulder can't be that big. and this head way too big compared to his body. The hands are a little bit off too. So this is why modifications were made. See, shoulders fixed, head size, that's fixed. Did what I could with the hands. They want to completely get rid of them. But you see, I fixed the mouths. Fix the mouth. Fix the mouth. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much what I was doing with it. But the reason I'm doing it too, again, is that's more my style, or amalgamation of our two styles together, of something that I can reproduce. Where the other one, I just can't do it. I would not be able to draw that way. Like, it's the same thing here. Anywhere I can get away without having to retouch it, I will. But if I have to, like faces wise, I have to touch it. Like, I had to do the same thing. That same thing with the lips that was going on with that other character was going on with Pencil Man too. And what I did is I tried to pare down the look to look more like the way I draw Pencil Man from Real Comic Showcase. Same thing here. Cleaned up the guys. Also cleaned up the. I had to get rid of the strange lettering that was there too. But yeah. So the reason I can't do this as fast is I'm trying to help Anthony out, and like I said, I'm gonna finish it off. But this is more of a project I do while I'm working on my other stuff, because I'm not getting paid to do this, so I can't make it be my priority for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm definitely trying to work on it too. Yeah, so it's the same thing. I went through here touching up and fixing up a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I'm up to this next page. But yeah, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We're an hour and 12 minutes. I think that's a good stream. I don't want to go too long besides that, but keep your eyes, your ears, your hearts, and your mind open. Why am I Twitter? This is actually pretty neat. So this is Real Comic Showcase while I was working on it. Real Comic Showcase 3. This came out pretty good. Pretty impressed. I actually like this. I like this a lot. And these were my pages that I designed, and my story too. I'm still now I'm looking at this scene, trying to figure out how he went from that kick. Like, he might have did the hook the leg in the air and then let this guy's momentum carry into his foot. But it's an interesting kick. Once I started looking at it, I'm like, that's kind of weird, but oh well. It's in the book now. Yeah, I get to use the design that I wanted to use for the gate in Real Comic Showcase 2, but in my story, this is like a really powerful, it's like a really powerful armor that he's wearing. So I got to use my design anyway, so that's kind of neat. So that's fun. And this is one of my dudes that I designed a long time ago. This is Cray. I'm working that character over. I actually redesigned them. I simplified the suits to make it easier to draw, because that was a lot of work when I originally did it. But yeah, as I said, keep your eyes, your ears, your eyes. Keep your eyes, your ears, your hearts, and your minds open. Until next time, I'm going to try to let the stream catch up, because sometimes when I end it, it actually cuts off the stuff that I'm saying at the end. Boy. Okay. See you, and thank you for watching, those who have.